If we could have roll call, please.
Alderman Mayberry.
Present.
Alderman Spargettis.
Present.
Alderman Talanair.
Here.
Alderman Parker. Alderman Shipp. Alderman Geenan.
Present.
Alderman Clark.
Here.
Mayor Tomes.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. We can have do the Pledge of Allegiance and then stay standing for a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence. Thank you very much. Just for a point of order, I just wanted to mention that we will be pulling item 20 off the agenda tonight. Item 20 will be pulled from the agenda. Start with item 5 then.
Minutes of the August 27th, 2018 meeting.
Move to approve the minutes as printed.
Second.
Moved to second. Any discussion?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 6, updates. A couple here. Thursday Night Groove Concert Series. The Thursday Night Groove Concert Series continues at Schwiebert Riverfront Park on Thursday, September 13th, 2018, with local band Minus Six. The event is open from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Rock Island Happy Joe's will have pizza for sale, and Bent River will be available. Beer will be available for purchase. Guests are encouraged to bring lawn chairs. For information, please call 309-732-7275. We got Community Crime Prevention Partnership Meeting. Please join the City of Rock Island Police Department on Wednesday, September 19th, 2018, for their monthly crime prevention meeting. This month's topic will focus on field officer training programs. These educational meetings are intended to strengthen the partnerships with the citizens of Rock Island and the police department. Meeting is scheduled to start at 6 p.m. at the community room of the police department at 1212 5th Avenue in Rock Island. 31st Annual Family Day Fund Day. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center will be hosting its 31st Annual Family Fun Day on Saturday, September 22nd, 2018. Family Fun Day is a community event celebrating all culture. This year's event will feature a parade, food and merchant vendors, informational booths, and a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. You don't want me for that. Live entertainment and plenty of activities for youth and families. The community center is located at 630 9th Street, Rock Island. For information, you can call 309-732-2999. Fall Community Garage Sale. Over 6,000 square feet of shopping for toys, trinkets, furniture, clothing, antiques, and much more for this year's Fall Community Garage Sale. The event will be held at Longview Park on September 29th, 2018, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Vendor space is available by calling 309-732-7275. Admission is free, so come check it all out. Thank you. Now we have item number 7.
Presentation of the August Keep Rock Island Beautiful Award.
So I believe there's a few people here to make a presentation and everything else.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, while they're coming up, could you please explain why item 20 was taken off the agenda?
They canceled the event.
They canceled it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Yes, sir.
Representatives, Quad City Pancake House. On behalf of Keeping Rock Island Beautiful Award, we want to present the Quad City Pancake House with this month's award. You do an outstanding job there. Your facilities look wonderful, and your food's great. Thank you very much.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Come on, Mr. Soward, smile. There we go. All right. Got it.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thanks. Item number 8.
Presentation of the 2018 Tell on Your Neighbor Awards.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll give a little lead into this, and then we'll have people come forward. They'll read their names, present them with the certificates for their Tell on the Neighbor. So at this point, this is the 44th year of Tell on Your Neighbor, event where neighbors nominate neighbors for their remarkable, neat, and well-maintained yards. Members of the Rock Island Beautification Commission are nominated yards for this year's event. This program recognizes residents who make the extra effort to beautify their yards beyond the norm. The Beautification Commission believes these citizens should be recognized for their efforts, which encourage others to keep well-groomed yards that are an asset to the city. The Beautification Commission viewed photo slideshows of the nominated homes and then selected the winners. This year, 23 Rock Island residents are being recognized for their efforts. I will read the names of the winners, and if they could come forward when they hear their names, we'll get the certificates and do a little photo op for them. So tonight we'll see some slides also up here on the show here for everyone to see what it looks like. So if we could start with Samantha Seaman. I don't know, some of these people may not have been able to make it, so I'm going to read out everybody's name, but they may not be. So Samantha couldn't make it, so come on up. Thank you. Mike and Christy Hickson. Are they here? Okay. And if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. Deb Knitze and Paul Magnuson. Eno and Annie Blocko. Lloyd and Terry Davis Sr., Curtis Walker, Ruby Roach Rylander, Margaret Lag, David Simpkins, Susie and Harlan King. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not paying attention. I'm reading here, not paying attention. I apologize.
Thank you.
Need to look up.
Yeah.
There you go.
So did I get Susie and Harlan King? Are they okay? There we are. All right. Ernie and Carol Bean. Tom and Kim Aldefinger. Brown Living. Paul and Roxanne Delcourt. I think I saw them come in. Alma Dawson. I went too fast. Karen and John Kevins? Deborah Riley. Craig Brown and Chris Wakeland. John Med. Beth and Jeffrey Van Beek. Van Beck? Vanderbeck.
Rebecca.
Then we got Lisa Perry. And Tony and Judy Rosa Gastaldo. Gastaldo?
If you don't know each other,
Turn sideways.
start loving each other right away.
You turn sideways, you can fit more people.
All right. One time here, looking good.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it very much.
Surprise, surprise. Oh, yeah. I was with his dad for 10 years.
Of course, not only thank you to the people that the yards, but the committee for taking time and reviewing all those. Appreciate their commitment. All right. I guess you bet no. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. All right. Item number 9.
Proclamation declaring September 2018 is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month.
All right, we'll read the proclamation here, but whereas September is known around the United States as National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month and is intended to help promote awareness surrounding the resources available to us and our community. The simple goal is to learn how to help those around us and how to talk about suicide without increasing the risk of harm. And whereas suicidal thoughts can affect anyone regardless of age, gender, race, orientation, income level, religion, or background. And whereas, according to the CDC, each year more than 41,000 people die by suicide. And whereas, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death among adults in the U.S. and the second leading cause of deaths among people aged 10 to 24. And whereas Rock Island, Illinois is no different than any other community in the country. But we chose to publicly state and place our full support behind local educators, mental health professionals, athlete coaches, police officers, PAC leaders, and parents as partners in supporting our community. And whereas local organizations like Suicide Prevention Services and the national organizations like the National Alliance of Mental Illness are on the front lines of the battle that may still refuse to discuss in public, as suicide and mental illness remain too taboo a topic to talk about. And whereas every member of our community should understand that throughout life's struggles, we all need the occasional reminder that we are all fighting our own battles. And whereas I encourage all residents to take the time to inquire as to the well-being of their family, friends, and neighbors over the next few days, and to generally convey their appreciation of their existence and any gesture they deem appropriate. A simple phone call, message, handshake, or a hug can go a long way toward helping someone realize that suicide is not the answer. Now, therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, proclaim September 2018 as National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in the City of Rock Island. Is there anybody here that want to speak? Okay. We will get that to someone. Thank you. We are on item 10 then.
A special ordinance establishing a 2-hour parking zone on the north side of 7th Avenue in front of the Laborers Local Union 309 property at 2835 7th Avenue.
Move to consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Pollinaire.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark. 7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item number 11.
A special ordinance removing a handicap parking space at 1005 17th Avenue.
Move to consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Pollinaire.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 12.
Claims. A, report from the Human Resources Department regarding payment in the amount of $20,061.53 to David Morrison of Rock Island, Illinois, for legal services rendered for the month of August 2018.
Move to accept the report and authorize payment as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Pollinaire.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 12B.
Claims B and C. B, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 11 in the amount of $583,966.80 to Civil Constructors Incorporated of East Moline, Illinois, for the water filtration facility project for services provided from July 21st, 2018 through August 26, 2018. And C, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 3 in the amount of $127,471.50 to Langman Construction Incorporated of Rock Island, Illinois, for the 2017-2018 Catch Basin and Manhole Program for services provided from June 25th, 2018 through August 18th, 2018.
Move to accept the reports, authorize payment as recommended for claims items B and C.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Due to the nature of my employment, I will be recusing myself from this vote.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Pollinaire.
Yes.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 13.
Claims for the weeks of August 24th through August 30th in the amount of $501,994.18, and August 31st through September 6th in the amount of $234,798.07, and payroll for the weeks of August 13th through August 26th in the amount of $1,473,422.63.
Move to allow the claims in the payroll.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Pollinaire.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 14.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the purchase of 16 Rock Island County tax auction properties as listed in the report in the amount of $14,442.
Move to approve the purchase as recommended, authorize the city manager to execute the purchase contracts, and refer to the city attorney for an ordinance.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Chandler, do you mind coming up and just offering a brief synopsis of what we're doing here?
Sure. Every year, the county notifies the city that there are certain properties coming up for tax sale. And because we are the municipality, we get first dibs, if you will, on taking a gander at them and selecting the ones that we would like to see. We selected 21 properties we thought were redevelopable and also fit a plan for bringing more investment into different neighborhoods. They are scattered throughout the city, which I'm very happy with. 20 of the 21, 16 are on the list. 5 of them were redeemed, so they're not on the list for us anymore. There are 2 properties on here with houses on them, and we are not able to inspect the properties prior to us acquiring them. If they do, if we acquire them and they do have structural integrity, we plan on putting them out for a rehab project. We think that's a great way for us to engage our CDBG funds and bring families back into some of these houses and use the money wisely. If they are not structurally sound, then we will demo them and then put them up for redevelopment opportunity.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Are any of them empty lots, or all of them have property on them?
No, most of them are empty lots.
Lots as well.
2 of them have the houses.
Only 2? Okay.
Sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, if we get a roll call, please.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 14. Oops, excuse me, 15.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding bids for the 2018 pavement marking program, recommending the bid be awarded to Peterson Parking Lot Striping of Carbon Cliff, Illinois, in the amount of $55,398.75.
Motion to award the bid is recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract document.
Second.
Moved to second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 16.
Report from the Finance Department regarding a 5-year contract extension through 2023 for other post-employment benefits, actuarial valuations with Menard Consulting Incorporated of Addison, Illinois, in the amount of $9,600.
Move to approve.
Go ahead.
Move to approve the contract extension as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
Moved to second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 17.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding an ordinance amending Chapter 11, Article 5 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the preservation of historically or architecturally significant property.
Who to consider the ordinance?
Second.
Moved to second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Well, I think there's a little bit of discussion, right?
I'm sorry.
Well, you'll note that the motion was printed to suspend and pass the ordinance, but I move to consider because there's quite a bit of information here. I'm not really sure if the public is aware of much of this. There are a lot of historic houses in Rock Island. Maybe somebody from CED wants to come up and talk a little bit about it, and whether or not it's critical that we suspend the rules and pass tonight, or whether we can pass it 2 weeks from now.
No, I don't think it's critical. I think that we did have a public hearing at the Preservation Commission. We went over it. I think we were just excited to finally get it done, but it's not critical. If you want to wait.
Who was excited? The Preservation?
The Preservation Commission.
Were there any other people from the public there?
I think there may have been a few. I don't know. Not really. I mean, I don't think we have people interested in the ordinance changes per se, because it's basically a lot of the same things, just minor details have changed, but it's not urgent that it passes tonight.
I guess my view was, since we have so many houses in, like the Broadway Historic District or the Highland Park
Right.
Historic District, that those people be given a chance to hear about it, maybe ask some questions, come to the council meeting if they want to, and then if we approve consideration tonight, then in 2 weeks we can go ahead and pass it.
Yeah. And that's fine. And the only changes that this are outlined in the memo, so the things that we discussed earlier with the districts and all those things are not being affected at all, or landmark status or processes. There's just some details in here that will be changed.
Right.
Is that the way you want it to stand? The motion that you made?
Consider.
Okay.
I just want to take the opportunity to thank the Preservation Commission, city staff, you, Ryan, for our dedication to historic preservation. I'm pretty excited. We're doing a lot on this front lately, and it's only going to grow. So
Thank you.
I'm excited. Thank you.
I'm moving to consider it tonight. Vote yes, and then in 2 weeks we'll vote to pass that for the public has had a chance to.
Okay. Would you explain that to everyone? I don't think everybody understands what he said. All he wanted it to do is just to consider it. He does not want to vote on it tonight.
So we vote to consider.
To consider.
Right. And then in 2 weeks, after the public has had an opportunity to absorb some of this, then we vote to pass in 2 weeks.
That is correct.
That's correct.
We're just not fast-track voting on it tonight. In favor of it.
All right. Roll call, please.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Brigadis.
Yes.
Collinaire.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Shipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 18.
Report from the Fire Department and Finance Department requesting an increase of fire department staffing by 1 FTE and approval of adjustments to the calendar year 2018 budget.
Move to approve the increase in fire department staffing by 1 FTE and approve the budget adjustments as recommended.
Second.
Move to second. Any discussion?
Yes. I did quite a bit of digging into the facts of the matter because I wasn't sure about voting for an unfunded amount of $175,000 as requested to the calendar year 2018. But the bottom line seems to be, after talking with the finance director, the fire department, and the city manager, that it's better to increase the budget, even though we can't identify immediately where that money is going to come from, but we will. Better to do that than to continue to hemorrhage the money that we're spending on overtime because we're short-staffed. That's as succinctly as I can put it.
Can the chief come up, please? I want to thank you and Randy. I know for quite a while I've advocated for listening to our firefighters and saying that while naturally it's going to be an incurred expense to hire more staffing, the amount of overtime that we're spending for the current staffing amount that we have is too much. So I just wanted to thank the both of you for listening and looking at the facts of the matter. I also understand that the original recommendation was that 3 additional firefighters would save the most in overtime. We're doing 1. I think everybody's fine with that. Is there any potential future? Are we going to continue exploring this and seeing if this helps and then move from there?
Yeah, I think that's the intent, to see how much this 1 FTE, the additional FTE will save us in overtime costs.
Okay.
If that bears out and is advantageous, then we may look at it further.
That sounds good. I think, as I've said from the beginning, we just need to look at the facts of the matter, the bottom line, and if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Yeah, appreciate your support.
Chief, do we have a list of people that qualify for this now, or will you have to go through personnel and all the training?
No, so we currently have a candidate list that's good up until next October. So we do have some candidates on the list.
Good. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Chief.
Further discussion, if we could have roll call.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark. 7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 19.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding review of a 2-lot minor subdivision plat of RIIP First Edition located at 220 Fifth Avenue.
Move to approve the final plat as recommended, subject to obtaining all required signatures on subdivision plat certificates and subject to conforming to requirements in the zoning and subdivision ordinances.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I usually let Josh read those long.
All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship. Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 21.
Street closing and sound amplification requests, A and B. A, report from this,
Sorry, did we skip 20?
Yeah, it's pulled. You missed it. Got pulled. At the beginning,
Oh.
we pulled it.
You were AWOL.
Hawkish on this agenda here.
On your job.
All right.
A, report from the city clerk regarding requests from Maria Escobar for a street closing of the alley behind her residence at 510 45th Street on Saturday, September 15, 2018, from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., and sound amplification for a birthday party. And B, report from the city clerk regarding a request from Rock Island High School Student Council for sound amplification for their homecoming dance on Saturday, September 15, 2018, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. at 1400 25th Avenue in the courtyard.
Move to approve the requests for street closing and sound amplification as recommended for items A and B.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Carries. We're down to other business. There was nobody signed up to speak, so.
Mayor, I just wanted to echo some comments I shared via email. I had to go check back. This is from 2016 to our former top staff positions. And so I wanted to reiterate that with this new council in light of the violence that continues to happen all throughout the Quad Cities, and what we can do as policymakers to further build out, from an infrastructure standpoint, safe neighborhoods, which has continued to be a goal that this council's had for many goal-setting sessions, has been safe, livable neighborhoods. And one of the things I had shared with the staff leadership at that time was a study. I just wanted to read a couple sentences from this study about the title of it is The Crime Reducing Effect of Improved Street Lighting. It was led by Dr. Kate Painter, who's respected professor of criminology from the University of Cambridge, who's done an extensive amount of work looking at this, the effect of improving lighting and the effects on crime. And I'll just read just a sentence or two here, but the editor's note starts and says, until recently, the received wisdom on improved street lighting was that it might reduce fear, but it has little effect on crime. This view is now changing, largely due to the work of Kate Painter in Britain. In the face of much skepticism, she has produced a series of studies suggesting that the crime prevention benefits of street lighting have been underestimated. Each of her studies has sought to improve on the methodology of earlier ones. In this latest study, written for this volume with David Farrington, she avoids the pitfalls of using official crime data by conducting victimization surveys in carefully matched experimental and control areas to adjacent public housing estates in the town of Dudley. The study produced clear evidence that crime of all kinds decreased significantly in the relit estate compared with the control. Moreover, there was little sign of displacement of crime to the control estate. Young people who might have been responsible for much crime on the estates were not displaced to the control estate by the relighting. Rather, the improved lighting attracted more young people at night into the experimental area. This might have been expected to produce more crime, except that the improved lighting probably increased the fear of apprehension. It is common to criticize situational measures for their harmful social effects, but this study shows once again how situational measures can reduce crime and improve the quality of life, in this case by facilitating the congregation of young people. So I know in the past we've talked about, you know, the maps that we have and the infrastructure to show which lights that we own and which ones are owned by Mid-American. In the event that happened at the start of the school year near Augustana up at the Lincoln Park basketball courts, Alderman Geenan and I attended a meeting that was called by the president of the college and Mr. Kai Swanson. And afterwards, Dave had shown kind of a map of that area. The bulk of those street lights and really the entirety of that area was, you know, most of them are all owned by Mid-American Energy. You know, and I know we've made it a priority with grants and other funding to get the cameras out there at the intersections and such. And I'm just thinking that the broader picture should be, you know, the cameras are going to be more effective at night with better lighting. The studies show that better improved LED lighting makes people feel safer, encourages congregation, increases the fear of apprehension or of being seen. And the other night I spent some time driving around thinking about this and just noting how many streets are just so dark with these old orange lights. It just doesn't feel safe. And I feel like people can get away with stuff in that kind of lighting. So I just wanted to re-echo those concerns that I shared 2 years ago, that I think we need to work diligently with Mid-American and any other private partners who want to put some capital into this and really get a program going to phase these out as quickly as possible and get the new LEDs in as fast as we can, because we can't wait.
It is already underway, so Larry, do you have an update on that?
Aldermanship, as City Manager Randy Tweed did mention, it is underway with Mid-American Energy. A little over a year ago, we did sign the agreement to allow them to come in and change out all of the Mid-American-owned streetlights to LED. We received an update about 2 weeks ago. LED manufacturers are a little behind the times. They're a little slow on their production, so it's a little bit of a stalemate right now. It is frustrating to see some of the other local communities have already made the transition. When we were led to believe we were the first one to sign the contract. But, you know, all kidding aside, it is something we are working on with Mid-American as well. We do have an RFP that will be released and advertised tomorrow for performance contracting to address the city-owned streetlights as well. And we've already, had some communications with some potential companies already before we did the RFP. So we are in the process.
Great. Thank you.
So there's many that just don't have any lights. You're talking about putting some lights in those places where we did a study that showed where we looked at the area and showed some are just pitch black where no lighting is.
Correct. Right now the RFP will be just to replace existing fixtures, but with those savings that we'll realize with changing over to LED, we can utilize those savings that we're going to realize to help put in some more additional fixtures in those areas. But because some of them don't have lighting, we'll want to inquire with the neighborhood to see if they want the additional lighting. Some neighborhoods may like the darker aspect, but again, we'll get the neighbors' involvement with that as well.
Thanks.
So there's no timeline from Mid-American when they're going to implement?
They said it would all be completed by the end of 2018. They're going to have to really get after it to be done by 18, but it is in process.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Great. Anything else for?
Thank you, Josh, for that information you gave us. It's very informative.
And thank you for bringing that up 2 years ago, because you really brought that to all our attention. The neighbors and the residents have called in about it, but you kept it on the forefront, so thank you for that. And thank you, Randy.
Okay. If there's nothing else, item 23.
Executive session, 5 ILCS 120, Section 2, C11, litigation, when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. And 5 ILCS 120, Section 2, C21, discussion of minutes of meetings lawfully closed under this act, whether for purposes of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by Section 2.06.
Move to go into executive session for the exceptions cited.
Second.
Move to second. Any discussion on that?
Roll call.
Alderman Mayberry.
Aye.
Brigadis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.